The bond that Mr. Phillips and I have forged over the years, it started as the common goal of feeding and helping out the Fifth Ward.
I started out gardening when I was around 5 years old. I grew up on a plantation there in Louisiana. My father taught me how to garden and raise my own food. He always told us you have to learn how to feed yourself. But I said, you know what, I think I'm going to try to find me a spot somewhere where I can grow a little bit more, where I can help other peoples with it. We got the garden going real good. People started coming from all kind of ways, wanting vegetables and everything. And when I would tell them, you can have anything you want in the garden. Yes, they are free, but I could use a little help on Saturdays for 2 or 3 hours. I met my wife in 1997. She was a Habitat homeowner. Habitat came in, they did some work in that neighborhood since those were the first homes that was built there. I'm sure you know Miss Allison Hay. I was getting ready to close it. And I told her, I said, yeah, because I can't get any help from Fifth Ward. I can't get no help nowhere else, and I can't do it by myself. She said, well, let us adopt the garden, and that way we'll keep you plenty of help out there.
I've been volunteering with Habitat, I think, since I was 2 or 3. My parents were involved in Habitat when I was small. I decided that I wanted to get back into volunteering. The first Saturday that I went, the garden was in quite a state. Our task for the day was to pull grass out of a dirt hill. Then I was like, well, this is nice and relaxing to an extent, and so I guess I'll show up next week too.
She was the only one that came back Saturday after Saturday. One weekend, I said, how would you like to be my assistant in the garden? And she said she would.
We're both very strong-willed, and we have a little bit of a difference of opinion some days of how it needs to get done.
We both are stubborn.
No, you won't let me use your weed eater. Why should I let you use my knife?
In September of 2022, I was doing something on my phone with my right hand and just happened to rest my hand on my left chest, kind of high, and found my breast cancer lump. January of 2023, I began my treatments. I did 3 months of one specific type of chemo. In March, I switched to a different type of chemotherapy. I had my surgery. Then I went through 21 days of radiation. I remained on oral chemotherapy until maybe May of this year. At some stage, knowing Mr. Phillips, he shared that he was a prostate cancer survivor. He knew from his own treatment that access to fresh veg and organic veg is important in overall health, but especially when you're going through things like cancer.
She'd come out there a few times a while. I know she wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to see her out there in that heat like that because I know how it was when I went through radiation.
I figured I had some pretty big shoes to fill. If he can volunteer every Saturday while he's going through his, I better still show up.
Every time it's planting time coming around again, I'm going to do one more season. It's something that I love doing.
Selfishly, I want him to continue forever in the garden, but as his friend, I hope he starts having Saturdays for himself to relax and not showing up at the garden at 7 a.m. and tilling beds or weed eating or telling me everything that I'm doing wrong.
She's a wonderful person to work with. But I have one problem with her. She want to run that weed eater and everything. The weed eater, big as she is.
I know you're not smacking things with my saw.
You're going to lose your saw privileges. I'm going to go use a weed eater now.
I don't say nothing now no more.